This is already very chaotic. I love it. Help us, please. Help us.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
No, that's not you. You're very stressed because of the camera.
Yeah, I know.
Hello!
Hello. Hi again, this is Ali. Today we're going to talk about why juniors randomly cry, get upset and happy and sad all at the same time. Only in 5 minutes this happens with juniors and kids. And we want to unpack that and we want to discuss it more in details when it comes to juniors' mind, how they think, why they are like that in some sense, and also teachers' perspective on how to deal with some situations like these and how manage the hurricanes of emotions that juniors have. So today we have two guests, quite professional in what they do, not only when it comes to juniors but also adults. I'm gonna leave the mic onto them to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Alkeran. I've been a teacher for like 5 years, I think, on and off. 5.5. It's been 5.5 actually. I mean, I do teach adults too, but I also mainly focus on juniors, on kids, because I think that's where I'm the best at in terms of my profession. So yeah, that's it. I'm here to talk. I'm here to give my opinions.
Nice, super, thank you. Yes, please.
Hello guys, my name is Simge. I have been a teacher for 4 years, but in here just 3 years. I work with adults and juniors.
All right. Why juniors? Like what the hell
I
got
don't know.
into your mind? Like why did you like?
I mean, for me, it's genuinely easier. But that's the first thing, because the way I use my techniques, the way I communicate with kids, I have much of an easier time than adults.
Opposite of me.
Yeah,
Exactly the opposite.
So I like the unaltered mind of the kids. Like with adults, basically, it's for me at least, it's harder to make them love English, and if they don't have their mind completely in it, then it's hard for me to make them fall in love with English, you know. But with kids, I find it much easier to motivate them, to make them go, to keep them in the flow, you know. So that's mainly why, and also, you know, as you know, our profession mostly deals with kids, because you know, state schools, private schools, they mostly deal with kids. So it's kind of like a professional choice as well for me, because yeah, it's like it's easier to find a job if you can deal with kids.
Beautiful. Easier to get a job, easier to communicate and to
yes, exactly.
All right. Adults know.
I mean, with adults, you know, here, we are talking about Turkey. With adults, if an adult wants to learn English, they either learn it themselves, or like, you know, internet, you know, you have a lot of resources on the internet, or they come to the language schools, language centers, and there are a lot of language centers, but like, they're just them, you know.
Right.
When it comes to schools, you know, private schools or state schools, there are lots of schools like that, and they only focus on, you know, kids, beginning from kindergarten to the end of the high school, you know.
Super.
I think young learners are easier than adult learners.
Right.
Because we have our methods.
Right.
And they focus on our methods, not books, not videos or stuff like that. That's it actually.
Super, nice. So I want to start with like, you know, families bring their kids to school, and you guys are in the teacher's room preparing to, you know, face the wave of chaos and everything else. Yeah. So I wonder, what is your not materialistic, not practical preparation, but your mindset? How do you get yourself ready to
Teacher, you go first.
Yes, please.
I don't know, I'm ready generally.
But there must be like a step one, step two. Like for example, if I were to say that today I have 5 meetings or 6 classes, I generally start with, okay, I'm going to have a very good breakfast. I need to understand that I need to walk a bit before I come to school. Maybe I get off by a park and walk like 5 minutes, grab a coffee before I come in. It just sets the mood for me to get in and like, I'm on, let's go.
Planning everything.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes that happens subconsciously. So it seems that you said, I'm always ready, but...
Yes. Firstly, I eat chocolate and I drink coffee and I get ready.
Right.
Yes.
Super. That's your mental prep.
Yes.
Mental prep.
If it's my first class, with my new class, it's the first time, I'm always excited. Because
like the first day of
the class, I'm always excited because what are you going to encounter? How are the kids? My mental preparation includes, I think, reminding myself that these are kids you're dealing with.
Or I will kill them. Like they are just kids.
Sometimes.
Just kids. Okay.
So like, you have to keep. I try to keep in mind that they don't know. They are very, very young, and their minds haven't even developed yet.
Positive.
Absolutely. So like, I remind myself, these are kids. You need to be patient. You need to love them. You need to embrace them. That's the way that I, repeating, because we will talk about it also. The most important quality you need to have as a teacher, I think, is patience with the kids. So this is what I remind myself. They're kids. They're kids. Like they're young. They need to learn. You're going to teach them.
So no chocolate and coffee.
And depends on their age, by the way.
Of course, depending on their age, exactly. With high schoolers, it's kind of different because with high schoolers,
if they are high schoolers, we don't have any
preps.
Yes.
Right. With juniors, with the little ones, we are the ones who need to teach them.
Right.
They don't know.
Exactly.
You need to be teaching them. So you can't be like. From adults, you expect responsibility. You expect them to, behave according to their age. But with kids, they do not know. They need to learn.
Yes.
This understanding is beautiful.
Yeah.
Having I am entering the classroom. I know that what I will be exposing them to, it could be like the first thing that they will be learning from me. So I better do a good job because that could damage them. Like in a long term.
First impressions are very important, unfortunately, especially with teaching, because it's very hard to break a child's mind if he has prejudices against you.
But not just for juniors, for adults,
of
for
course,
academic
definitely.
students.
Right. For general, that's the mindset.
Yeah, that's the mindset as teaching goes.
For adults, I think it's kind of strange because when they come to the classroom, they know so much, and that could be a problem for us.
But I always say, hello, how are you today, guys? Blah blah blah. Because you have to be happy.
Right.
That's
the
our keys.
Especially with juniors, by the way, like with adults, but with also juniors. Juniors have a lot of energy. You need to flow with them.
Yeah.
You cannot like. Excuse my language, shut them up. Or you cannot sit them down. They need to move. They need to move around. They need to talk. That's the way that their mind is developed at the moment.
It's almost like a toddler or an infant. Like you touch the fire,
of course,
exploring, going.
Like imagine you have this brain here, like this.
Yeah.
It's so tiny.
And you have like a lot of energy. What are you going to do? You either need to talk, or you either need to like be on the move all the time.
You need to get it out.
Yeah, you need to get it out. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of problems when you become an adult.
Right. All right, that's nice. That's one sided of the story. So the first side is your mindset and your preparation and how you look at it. Something what we haven't talked about, or maybe we never thought about, which is from the kids' mindset. How the kids is coming to the classroom and looking at you. Like what have you ever imagined how they are like?
Yeah, they are always do something for me.
Right.
Like painting, coloring something for
Right.
me before the lesson.
Right.
And I say, hello guys, just sit down please, how are you, how are you? They are so nice and cheerful.
When their parents, let's be honest, when I was a kid, your parents, your mom and dad take you to school, I have no idea what's going on. I just need to, because, no, as a kid, I don't know what's going on. I'm just being carried out to a place where I need to get educated.
So I always call their parents
Right.
after the lesson. We did something, we did like this.
Right.
This.
Just to be certain that's what we have taught.
I always write on the WhatsApp group.
Right.
I always call the parents for exam score or did something.
Right, just to be sure and everything. Because you feel like children are unreliable or untrustworthy or bad people. Like what? Like this is my point. Like, how are they thinking? Like, are they thinking I'm going to school to play, or I'm thinking I'm going to school to learn, or I'm just gonna meet my favorite teacher?
Both.
I'm gonna play games. Like
Both.
What do you mean?
Actually, they say I'm going to course for doing activities and learning English.
Okay.
And he's or she is my favorite teacher. Yes.
All right. So they just enjoy the fact that they are going to. Interesting.
Sometimes
Yes.
they wake up at 6 a.m.
Alright.
and they hate waking up at 6 a.m.
Alright.
like a normal person.
Do they express it to you?
Um,
Do they like, teacher, I woke up at 6 a.m. Do they speak like?
Sometimes they do, yes.
Okay.
I listen to my kids
Why 6 a.m.?
because they need to eat, they need
Yes.
to wash their faces, prepare for
I think
Okay.
for
and
them
leave.
as
For
kids,
daily
they-
routine,
they
yes.
ta- I
The
think
daily routine, yeah.
they take longer time to prep.
Yeah,
That's
some of
fair
them.
enough.
Yeah, it depends. Not kids in general, but
Of course.
6 a.m. Not necessarily 6 a.m. I'm just
Like early in the
like
morning.
Early in the morning, and
Mm.
obviously they don't like it that much.
Of course.
So when they come to school, you need to wake them up.
Yeah.
You need to prepare them.
I think it's harder
They-
job having a class in the morning.
It depends. For me, I like mornings more because it's the fresh mind. When you wake
Yes,
up, your
yes.
mind is fresh. You know.
It's better.
It's better as mornings. Also, when again coming back to kids' mentality, so you need to stay in the class in the school for 8 hours of your life. It's like going to work, but you're not getting paid. You know, so
Right.
like sometimes it's hard for them. As teachers, you need to both. You need to have the balance. You need to be educating them, you need to be making them comfortable, and you need to be entertaining them as well and babysitting them. So this is the hardest part.
When you said
in juniors.
entertaining them, I'm like.
Yeah, entertainment and education needs to go together.
Yeah,
sometimes it
Of
should be
course.
entertainment.
Yeah, of course. I mean, sometimes I ask you questions about juniors because I have no idea. I've been teaching for 6-7 years, and the thing that I got maybe 2 junior kids, and their level was really good.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't understand like having a junior from A1 and A2, and then
I changed my decision now.
Ah.
Adult is easier than.
this is
Younger
this conversation is opening up our minds.
Yes, really.
No, the thing is, because you're counted as a native teacher,
Right.
so they have you have like higher levels. I started, for example, in the school, and here as well. Here I started at A1.
Positive.
My kids were A1, and
Correct.
there were some of them where like not 1 ounce of English education.
Oh.
They didn't have only school.
What
I mean,
is-
not
what is
1
English?
ounce,
What
but
is
like
English?
they did have, of course, like you have state school. When they come to the class, for example, my first ones,
Yes.
and I always try to speak English with them, try to communicate with English.
Definitely.
First, I had like problems because they didn't understand me.
Because you're using only English.
Yeah, only English. They didn't understand me. They didn't like I had kids crying because like basically what happens was like imagine like you come into a class,
Right.
you're with people that you've never ever seen before, right? And there is like one I don't know, like 26 years old man coming in, and he speaks in a language that you do have no idea about.
Right.
Like, imagine the mentality. So as a teacher, you need to balance that. You need to be prepared about. You need to be prepared for the hardships that comes with that. But like what I do, because of my experiences beforehand with my classes, I was always communicating with the parents, for example.
Of course.
Same
point.
Same point.
Yeah,
we have to definitely. Like I was like, this is going to happen. The kids are going to complain, but please be patient.
You're talking about before everything starts. Before I expose them to all full English, I inform their parents beforehand to be aware. Your kid's gonna cry.
It's going to do. They're going to have lots of questions. They're going to be like. Sometimes they will not even want to come to the class because like this dude is talking in English. I have no idea. I don't understand. He said and he's correct. But this is the way you need to do. You need to prepare them. You need to play games. You need to the techniques, the methods that you talked about. Talked about. But from the side of the kids, that's why I'm very patient with them because this is very hard for them.
You're talking about it, and as an adult, if you put me in this environment, if I'm unaware of daily language exposure is important for me, I would like, I'm bored, I don't want to come again, or like as an adult, so I cannot imagine how kids would react.
Yeah, they're like, what if something happens to me? Does he know Turkish? No, they actually think that my kids told me like, teacher, I thought like you didn't even speak English and I was scared. But well, how would I communicate with you or something, And now with my kids, I love them and I think they love me too.
I think they love me too. That's argumentative, I would say. But
you never know. You never know for sure. They say they love you, but
from my own observation, even with teacher single classes. I see kids come and hug.
Yes.
So if they cannot speak, this is the way of their expression of love. They don't know words, they might not express words, but they might hug you or they paint something for you.
Yes.
That is remarkable because we as an adult we use words and if I want to be honest, when we express our emotion to the other person, we're really not good at expressing words properly. So imagine juniors. So imagine if we were adults and instead of telling some other people that we love them, we just paint photo for them and send them.
I wish we would do that. I wish we would do that more.
It's less complicated.
Yeah.
Things. Teacher Sumge, I was wondering if you are, let's say you are entering classroom with all full energy and everything else. Do you have moments where you just pause and you observe each kid's behavior-wise, like how they are acting, what they are doing, what this guy is doing, are they together, why he's looking at his shoe, like wait, his pencil has a problem, what he's like.
Sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes
like what are they? I wonder.
Sometimes they are more talkative.
Right.
Some days. So I just sit on my chair and look at the classroom.
Right. What do you observe? What is your reflection?
What do they do now?
Right.
Someone do coloring, someone do painting, someone are talking to each other.
Right. Turkish or English?
English.
English, okay, nice.
If I heard Turkish words, please
English.
don't use Turkish words.
Right.
You have to use English.
Right.
But teacher, we don't speak.
Right.
No, you know,
complain.
and you have to.
Yeah.
Just sit on my chair and look at my class.
Have you observed something weird? Like for example, some kid looking to this window like, oh, that's beautiful. I'm just like.
We have chair with heels.
Right.
Yes, somebody do like this.
Yeah, moving around. They love doing that,
Wow.
But
They
why?
That's very nice. Why?
Hocam, and he says,
It's
teacher,
playful movement, I would say. Right?
teacher, I drive a car like this. But why? You are 9 years.
And you are in suddenly I'm a car driver.
Kids tend to play with everything.
Yes.
That's the way they,
But that's.
communicate.
I mean, let's be honest. If you saw an adult does that, what would you do?
You know what I would do? I would join them.
Can I play with you?
But again, it's look, okay. From my perspective, if I haven't been teaching kids for a long period of time, and then I entered the class. I covered your class or his class, and I'm like, what he's doing, or why he's looking at me like that. Like sometimes some kids get entering your soul. They are looking very strange. And if I were to see an adult like that, I would like, what is your problem? Like, are you okay? Like
maybe I think I know their attitude or behavior. He did something because of blah blah blah.
Example.
She did something.
Example.
For example, she cut something.
Okay.
Because of maybe she want to give something for me. She prepared something for
so
me.
You're saying that there is a logical reason behind it.
I don't ask.
You don't ask.
It's a surprise.
It's fun. It's
Yes.
just enjoying it. So technically, we're letting them be.
I mean,
however you want to be in
that,
class.
so the thing is like, there are rules,
Right.
and you make them clear.
Right. Classroom
rules. Yes,
Of course,
they need to have rules. However,
Yeah.
I mean, this is how I do it. Like,
Right.
for me, the rules can bend.
Yeah.
This is my mentality, because rules. Okay, we obey the rules.
Right.
But sometimes the rules must obey us as well.
Sure.
You can't just write something here and then it doesn't change.
Right.
Yes, it doesn't change. And my students have not just classroom rules, break time rules also.
Right.
We have break time rules.
So technically, how we kind of discipline or manage our classroom is that
discipline is important.
rules.
Yes, first rule
Yeah,
in my classroom.
it's very important.
Right.
What I do is try to give discipline through
Example, maybe.
example.
Right.
Yeah, of course, because that's the kids never listen to what you say. Kids always look at what you do. That's what they do.
Sure.
Also, I try to leave them free as much as possible, because I mean, going back to the topic that I talked about, they have a lot of energy.
Right.
They want to spend that. They need to spend that. So what I do is, as long as they don't harm each other,
Right.
or they don't harm themselves,
Right.
they're free to play.
But rules are for them.
Of course, definitely.
They have to obey some rules.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
example, my classroom, they don't say, they mustn't say actually, kanki, kanka, lan, or something
Right.
else.
Right.
Or they mustn't run into classroom or in corridor.
Right.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
I
For
wonder-
example, running.
They always watch some English movie and English subtitles
Okay.
during break time.
Right.
That's it.
I wonder, like I had a problem growing up. My parents always telling me that don't do this, you have to do this and this, but nobody explained to me why.
Yeah,
And I wonder
exactly.
the reason if...
Yes.
We explained,
Yes.
of course.
Okay, so how do you explain?
You
Don't
must
run...
run, yes, you must run because we have tea, cup of tea, or we have some food.
Right.
If you run
Mm-hmm.
and you
Crash
touch
into-
me,
yeah.
so
What's gonna happen?
I
What
think
will happen?
both damage.
Yes.
Kids,
What damage?
do we explain those rules with reasons
Yes.
when we need them, or we just like...
I think as a sort of,
No, please, that's my point. That's what I mean.
as adults, we tend to ignore the mental capabilities of children. We think like, what if I explain? He wouldn't understand. or she wouldn't.
that.
That's one of the worst things you can do to a child. Children can and does understand everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually even
Observation
better.
skills.
Yes, they even have better observation skills.
and they always ask something. For example,
Yeah.
why
Green?
is it
Yeah.
green? Why is it pink?
Yeah, they always ask questions, because you know the thing is, he's, after all, like, kids are just like adults, human beings, and
Yes.
they have the brain.
Yeah.
The brain wants to question. He's new, like, where am I?
The brain
What am I
developing.
doing here? They're developing, yes. So these kind of, even some of them ask philosophical questions without realizing that it's a philosophical question.
Curiosity,
You know? That the curiosity is very important with the kids, and as
Yes.
adults, I mean, this is the thing. I think balance is very important in education. You need to both know that it's a child,
Right.
but also you need to make sure that the child doesn't understand that you view him as a child. It has to be like,
Wow.
yeah, they are equal, like in the sense that Actually, no, we're not.
I'm not speaking with you because you're 10 years old. I'm speaking with you as a person who understands me and I'm communicating with you in that
but
level.
you also need to keep in mind that it's a child.
Oh.
You need to.
We are
both
adults.
of those. Yeah, we are adults.
We are
So
adults.
both of those ideas need to go together, and this is like one of the hardest parts, I think. Of
I
being
think
a
it's
teacher.
challenging.
Of course.
Like if I would get impatient. I would like, okay, I'm gonna speak with you as a child, and then when I see the behavior, like, oh,
You
this
know,
is a kid's thing.
blue era, or I don't know.
What is that?
Blue era. For example, these our toddlers will be teenagers.
True.
This duration we say blue era.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
that means
They more angry, they
Mm.
more sadness, they more happy, they more energy.
It's just all the
during-
package.
It's the,
Yes,
yeah, it's
yes,
like
yes.
before being a teenager and after being like a toddler. Like that part is like one of the most difficult parts.
Actually, from 8 to 17 or 16.
Yeah, that like it's the very hard.
You gave me so much input about psychology, kids, and how they are thinking and everything else. It makes me think if families have, or their parents have, similar ideas. Do they think like that with their kids? Because I really think they don't, from my point of view. Because I've never seen, from my own childhood experiences, and also my friends, I've never seen a parent sitting down and speaks with the child as a, complete person, a developed person. They always speak like, he's a child, or sometimes they use some bad language and bad
Depends.
behaviors in front of them.
Depends. They don't know how to teach something to my children.
Right,
For example, I'm a parent, okay?
right.
And I didn't go swimming pool, I didn't go cheese course, I didn't go English course, and now I have children and I go.
I just send them.
Yes, I sent. You go to swimming pool, you go to English cruise, you go to cheese cruise. Calm down, canım. Calm down.
Why calm down, John? What's the problem
Because
here?
they don't have any experiences about course
Right.
during their childhood.
Who don't have the parents?
Some parents.
Yeah.
So the parents thinking that it doesn't matter. I'm giving the money for my kids to go to school and that's it.
Go to
They are not
course.
processing that aspect. So
Uh-huh.
what would you tell?
But it's just parents want.
Yeah, the
One
child doesn't
not,
want
yes.
that, for example.
So
yeah, exactly.
forceful behavior.
Forceful
Yes,
behavior,
forceful,
and
yes.
it doesn't work on the child. It actually demotivates them
Right.
to do anything. Some parent, like the question you asked, we cannot expect parents to be informed about the educational psychology as we are because it's our profession.
Exactly.
However, just like she said, some parents act the way that you described, like sits down with the kid and talks with them. Some parents, as like the worst part, they don't. And as a teacher, you even notice that, because if a child sits down and if a parent sits their child down and they talk with the child, I tend to see that child actually listens to me, listens to what I say. But if the parents do not talk with their child, then the child doesn't talk with me either.
So it's kind of like children are mirroring their parents.
Of course, every aspect.
Yes. And
Every aspect.
And I think some parents send to children to the course for, okay,
Yeah.
I need to be alone.
Oh, that's
But
really
why?
bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
but why?
Because there is an unfortunate reality that I'm not sure if you're going to put this to
Exactly,
me.
exactly.
But there is like an unfortunate reality that some parents actually do not love their children.
Yes.
Just production, huh?
It's
It's
just
just
production.
Children.
Yeah, just
You
children.
and
They don't like their children's personality.
Wow.
Actually, they do something, not a person.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do something.
It's
instead.
like an
It's a something.
extension of themselves. They see it like that.
Wow.
And the kids who are not loved by their parents,
Oy.
It's like an object.
exactly, and I instantly notice that.
Yes.
I instantly notice, okay, this child is not.
You
being
are my
loved.
object. You have to go English course. You have to go to swimming course. You have to go to cheese course.
Just pile
you have
up.
to learn new
piling up,
language.
piling up. Yeah,
Tık 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 tık.
yeah, and
And
what
so-
happens with that is that like kids cannot focus on more than one thing at a time actually, because you know they're still developing. So
Of course.
you send them to swimming course, English course, as you said.
Yes.
Some of them go to like chess club, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a lot for them, and it's so sad because like they need to go out, they need to play with their friends, they need to play hide and seek, they need to run around, they play it and
They need to
stuff.
search something
Yeah.
in the environment. We
Yes,
have a lot
yes.
of things outside.
So you're saying that children need, besides their school's extracurricular activities,
Yes.
they need to do instruments or games or football. Or
Yes, but
fun activities.
we need to pay attention to the fact that we shouldn't make it like an official thing.
Mhm.
The
Yes.
child should play.
Right,
Should
right.
have
I had a
fun,
student.
play.
Really, he go to 7 or 8 course. Football course, basketball,
Oh my God,
tennis,
yeah.
English
Oh, yeah.
in here, and outside English course, and mathematics course,
Wow.
Turkish course, and swimming or chess course. But why?
Wow. Where?
So they
How do you
cannot
find the
focus
time to
on-
do all of these
Yes.
things?
Can you do that as an
No.
adult?
Children
I cannot.
can
No
focus
way.
on their life.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, okay, if you have things in your life to do without, like, there's a schedule, a calendar for that, you would be able to do it. But if you're telling me that there is 8 courses, we have a scheduled
One
time,
is enough or
scheduled
2 is
days.
enough. For example, English and football.
Yeah.
English or Spanish, doesn't matter. Or basketball course,
Can
that's
we,
it.
can we, as educators, can we tell the parents, like,
Yes.
yo, calm down, maybe you can do this? Do you think the parents will be welcoming that?
Depends on the parents.
Yes.
Depends on the
Depends.
parents. Some of them do. My experience is that like the ones that are open to communication do
Right.
not send their children and to everywhere and don't treat them as robots anyway.
Mm.
The ones that are open to communication. Most of the parents are kind of closed to
Feedback,
outside
maybe?
feedback about their kids, because it's kind of understandable that because they think that this is my child. I birthed, like I gave birth.
I made it, yes.
I made it. That's
But
what- that's
but
what
that's
they
like
say.
also like an object, teacher Simge said. Like,
Yes.
Some,
everything is
some,
good.
we don't know, some parents really are.
Yeah,
some
they
parents
think like
say
that.
it's
No, no, I
objective.
don't-
Objective.
I definitely don't like I don't disagree.
Uh-huh.
I actually think that this is true, but still it looks like an
For example,
object treating.
he or she said, I couldn't play football. Okay, I have children, so
They can play it.
yes,
Yeah.
they can play it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't learn English. Okay, they can learn English, but why? Maybe they.
It's like my
they
dream.
don't like-
I am forcing it
Maybe they.
on my kid.
Maybe they don't like playing basketball.
Right.
They
But
like
I like.
playing volleyball.
But I like.
But
I
yes, because you like.
Mm.
She hit on a very good point. For example, what I think. Let's say, for example, I have, in my opinion, a very good language learning ability.
Right.
But I'm really not good at math. So let's say I get married and I have a child. I really should not expect that child to be good at math as well.
Right.
Because what have I given to him? This is who I am, and my child is going to resemble me.
Right.
If
Genetically speaking.
Genetically speaking, exactly. So if I don't have that ability, how come my child? Well, they can, but still,
There's a possibility.
There's a
It's
possibility,
not
but
certain.
expecting them.
Oh, that's bad.
Actually,
That's good.
they weren't happy during their childhood. Their children wouldn't be happy
Ooh.
Yeah.
because genetic.
Wow.
For example,
Yeah.
now I'm so happy for my life. So after 10 years or 5 years, my children will be happy in their life, in his or her life.
Wow.
Because I'm happy now.
Yeah.
Because I can play football, I can speak English, I can learn something.
Right.
Because I like.
It's very deep.
Yes.
I never thought
But
about that.
somebody's parents actually, parents actually,
Wow.
from parents to parents.
Right,
is
right. It's kind
important.
of the same.
Yes.
Wow.
Reflection
also-
is important, yeah.
Again, like Freud says,
Yeah.
Yes.
like Freud says that most of our character is defined by our subconscious.
Right.
That the treatment we had during our childhood from 0 to 5. Unfortunately, as humans, we are kind of chained into that side of ours. And if we saw mistreatment as a child, we tend to mistreat our children.
Wow.
If we were abused as children, we tend to abuse our children as well. And it's very dark, unfortunately. But with education, and this is our job, to educate children so that like they can unchain themselves from that.
Yes, please.
And you know, we heard something before born. So we were inside.
Right.
In, I don't know.
Our mom's womb.
Yes,
right.
yes. And we always heard something in outside voice. Father's voice, mother's, grandparents'
we can
voice.
distinguish.
Yes.
Like this is a male, female. Like,
Yes. Shouting, crying, or cheering.
Right.
We always heard about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard and difficult, but nobody knows.
I mean, but the way you guys are communicating and like expressing your ideas and opinions professionally, it seems that we need to educate parents more than we educate the kids.
Of course.
It's if you're dealing with kids, if you're dealing with juniors, that is like one important part, communicating with the parents.
I would love to hear or speak with a parent who's open up to not only to take a teacher's feedback, but very good constructive criticism. Like
but you know the thing is, those parents treat their kids already well, so they kind of don't need your feedback.
I never thought about that. Because like I'm like, you should be open-minded, but you are already closed. That's why your kid is like that.
Yeah, exactly. And one more thing, like if there's a behavioral problem in a child, I swear to God, I meet their parents, and one of the parents has that exact behavioral problem. For example, let's say like a child is selfish, acting selfishly.
Okay.
The parent is acting selfish.
Like you are going to the parents to explain
all the
teach the behavior. Like
it's just reflection.
Oh, what's it?
It's just
You're the same. Imagine.
So this is. I also want to connect to the idea that I just said. Like, kids do not look at what you say; they look at what you do.
And some children don't know. No.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like?
No. Yeah.
So this is like.
For example, Hocam, can you give me your pencil like this? I say no, but why?
Yeah.
What is no? No is no.
Right.
Yeah. One, and also the not knowing no part is children. This is a development thing. Like you shouldn't talk with negative sentences with kids. Like you shouldn't say, for example, don't do it. Don't. You shouldn't use don't. You should say like, do this.
Yes.
Because their brains do not understand the negativity.
So children don't know
Grammarly
no or
negative.
don't or won't.
Yeah.
For
you
example,
need to
I
open
say,
up a new path, you know?
Yes, I say don't use your phone during the class.
Yeah, but they
during
teach
the
her.
lesson.
Yeah.
Why? What is don't?
But this is very nice.
Yeah.
For
example, you should, this is very
it's
hard.
It's not positive hocam, but...
No, but like...
You need to use the positive sentences, positive, grammarly positive words.
But that means they came to life to expect something positive.
But it's not easy.
But
they are going to learn.
Yeah, like it's like you're gonna reach a point where no is gonna be no, but it's always. But there's a substitute to that. Instead of saying no,
but should I get offer them a
take the other pen, for example.
Yeah, or like for example, the example that she gave. Don't look at your phones in the class. Okay. So the child here starts, and the child stops. But then 10 minutes later, they forget. And then they do it again. Yeah, so you need to offer an alternative path for them.
Right.
But you know, this is one of the things that I think have difficulty to do because basically this is how we communicate. If there's something that they shouldn't do, you say just don't. However, unfortunately, with kids, it doesn't work.
I am expecting that they will not do that again, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't work, unfortunately.
I swear to God, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, because like
Because sometimes I have my in COVID-19 2020, my wife's nephew Yekta stayed with us in our apartment, and he's like 10, 11, and he's doing some type of behavior, and I say no, and when I say no, he puts it, and after a while I turn, he's doing the same
yes,
thing,
exactly.
and I'm like, didn't I say to you no? He said, oh, sorry. I never thought from his perspective, oh, he forgot. I was thinking that's disrespect to me. How he not listening to me?
Yeah.
So I take.
This
See,
is what,
they want to forget.
yeah, exactly.
Not forget, hocam.
Okay, so they
They
know.
won't
want to
forget.
forget.
Okay, teacher.
By forget, I'm trying to mean like.
Oh, sorry, I forget.
yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
He wants to. The child wants to do it.
Yes.
They are
But
smarter
he
than
will
us.
try to find a way to do it.
Wow.
Like for example, you say don't cheat in the classroom.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And he will try to cheat, like in a way that you don't see.
All right. Right.
You need to find other ways, alternative ways to explain to them why that's wrong.
We are complicated, man.
The kids are complicated.
I mean-
and this is the hardest part of them.
I mean, if we were today not talking about juniors, we would talk about adults. We would reach the same complexity.
Oh yeah.
Kind of human behavior.
Yeah, they are human beings
Yes.
after all. They're just smaller than us, you know. They're just smaller than us. They're still
Demons,
human
they are.
beings.
Like
Yeah.
when we say demons, chaotic behavioral, tiny
cute-
creatures,
cute
very
demons.
cute,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
cute. But
Cute,
yeah.
I
Sometimes
love them.
adults are like juniors.
Mm.
Juniors are like
yeah,
adults.
exactly. But that's very good. It's a very good point. Like
Similarities.
For example, not that it's similarities. Like some adults tend to act like children. Some children tend to act like adults. Like
Children
they.
do better job.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes, not all the time, but
Yeah.
still, it's like one of
Actually,
the.
they listen to us. Maybe it's better.
More. They listen to us better than adults because basically when you're an adult, and this is the subconscious mentality.
Right.
Obviously nobody thinks that, but it's subconsciously we say, I mean, I know it already, I'm an adult.
I want to talk about crisis management and conflict in classroom. Have you ever had a situation where
Yes, I cried.
what?
I cried during the lesson.
How come?
Not my students, but I cried.
Okay, teacher crash. Okay, what happened?
Teacher, oh yeah.
What happened?
Because my student pour something to outside
Okay.
and somebody came to course
Oh my
and asked
God.
something. Who did do that?
Whoa, they throw something like a water or a liquid from a
yes.
window.
Yes.
Ooh.
And somebody come to course and ask who did do that, blah blah.
Oh my God.
And I shut it and he started to cry and I cried too.
Yeah.
But why? Because I scared really.
Yeah.
Because he's older than, and my student is just 8 or 9 years.
That's kind of taps back to exploration. They want to see and experience different things and behaviors maybe.
I cried because of scaring.
She was scared. This is I think one of the hardest parts of being a teacher. The problem is in almost in every kind of profession there are going to be problems.
Right.
There are going to be mistakes.
Right.
Like you have at least 15 students.
Right.
to look-
I cannot
to
manage
look
to.
after.
15 face, 15 life,
Right.
Yeah.
not 15 students, 15 life, 15 attitude, 15
Yes,
behaviors,
Yes,
15
and they're in the
parents.
same class, and the thing is, with some classes it's easier to manage them, but sometimes you have different classes that are really hard to manage. And what happened there, I completely empathize with her because those things can happen. They shouldn't, but they happen because you cannot change the students. You can be the best teacher ever, but sometimes the students are going to misbehave.
Does it reflect on you? Do you think if the student made or created a mistake or an error, like throwing water from a window, I presume if you like she cried because she's scared for her students, I wonder if you think of yourself like, maybe I should.
But I would also probably have the same reaction.
Same
like,
reaction.
to lie, because like it's such a
Because stranger man
yeah,
is
like
in
a
my
stranger
classroom,
man coming to
and
the
he shows my
classroom
students, and he is just 8 years old. But why?
You know, I think the way you need to look at these kind of events as a teacher is to, okay, this was an experience. I learned this, I learned that, I should have done this, I should have done that. And you need to grow out of it. Like, because conflicts between the students, between you and the parents, they're going to happen. Because the job we do, it's a very difficult, very engaging job. Like basically, like you need to be prepared. However, the hard truth here is that you're not going to be prepared. Let's talk about that positively about our profession. I love my job because, like, yes, it's hard sometimes, but the energy I get from my students, the investments that I make, and the results that I get, it's so satisfying to know that you're able to help someone, help a child.
I agree completely. Recently, I read something like on Harvard University course or studies on Instagram. They said that a teacher in 1 year of education impacts 300 students or 300 lives. None of the jobs out there could do that.
Yeah.
You are changing a lot of things in the classroom. Look, there is advantages and there is downfalls from it, but still, I feel like it's worthwhile. How do you manage a conflict in the classroom? If there's students or something like that.
So the thing is,
you said earlier, you've had an experience.
I have, of course, like in every kind of class. I think, in my opinion, in every kind of class there's some conflict, because when you put like 15 people together, regardless of their age, there is going to be some type of conflict. Whether or not it becomes an issue, a bigger issue, is something else. But there is going to be conflict.
Between the students, between the kids, or
between the kids, between you and the kids, between you and the parents and the kids. Like they are going to happen. But like the way I deal with it is to stay calm. Because let's say the students are fighting. If I get angry as well, then it's going to create like much of a problem. Much like as a teacher, as an adult, you need to stay calm. You need to you need to contain them. You need to separate and contain them. You need to make sure that there is no damage. There's nobody gets hurt, and like then the guidance part starts. You need to try. You need to understand like why did this happen? Why did this child attack? Why did this child provoke? This is the questions I ask. You need to ask why about everything, and then by the way, also you need to seek help from other teachers as well. You can't do everything by yourself. We have psychologists in almost every school now.
Same here.
Yeah, and like basically you need to ask to the psychologists. Okay, this happened. How can we deal with this? Because they're better prepared, they're better trained to handle stuff.
Your solution might not be sufficient.
Yes, we are also trained for psychology as well, but that is their main job. My main job is teaching. Their main job is going through the psychology of the children. So you need to ask for help. You can't just say, I can do everything by myself. That's not possible.
I remember once one of your students cried because she felt that you shouted at her.
Yes.
Do you remember that incident?
Yes. It's not a conflict.
That's a kind of a conflict, because like the student didn't want to go back to the class, and she was feeling a bit uncomfortable. But I think you dealt with it very beautifully. Because I saw the kid, and I was wondering. Teacher Sunga came, and the kids were in the corner sitting down. And then Teacher Sunga sat down, said to me, "Teacher, I will handle it," and she handled it very well. After that, I came, I didn't find the kid. So I wonder what happened.
If it's conflict, yes, I have something.
Okay. All right.
I have something.
Right.
Yeah. Firstly, I asked, "Why are you sitting in here?"
Right.
And she said, "Because blah 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 blah."
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, but you did.
You made that error.
Yes.
You made that
Blah,
mistake.
blah, 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 blah. And why why did you do that? Because no,
For this
you
reason.
don't think.
Okay.
Just speak.
Okay.
Why?
Mm.
Because blah 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 blah. Okay, and give me a hug.
All right.
And come to
Beautiful.
class.
All right. You made it out.
Yes.
Things worked out. And because
Exactly. For example, the one thing that we need to pay attention, just like she did, for example, saying that you're sorry, that's important. Because like
Because
some people,
Maybe it's my mistake. Okay, I'm sorry. Or
exactly.
it's your
You need to
mistake,
be,
okay.
you need to be, how to say that?
transparent, honest.
Transparent, honest, and you needn't be too proud.
Right.
Pride is something that you need to stay outside the classroom.
Right.
Because if you're proud, like, why am I going to apologize? It's
Yeah.
just a child. You would
And
say,
sometimes you
and
need
that's a
to
big
say
problem.
sorry. Sometimes you need to say sorry.
Because you need to also realize that as a human being, you can also make mistakes. There have been times where I raised my voice, but then I looked back and it was like, that was kind of unnecessary. Why did you do that? And like, this is the introspection, you know. And I was like, try to make it up for them, you know. Like, do something nice for them, and they will feel happier now. It's
This
kind
is
of like
because I am like
Yeah, yeah.
that. But this is also a lead by example. You're showing them that you're,
Exactly.
you know,
very good.
you may apologize. It's not a big deal to say sorry. Some people are learned not to ever say sorry because like,
Right.
who I am to say sorry to you, something like that. Interesting. I wonder if you had a conflict not in the classroom but outside of the classroom with a parent. Because this is a crazy one.
I have one story.
Teacher, I have a lot.
I have one story.
Hit me.
So, not here, but like in the
Previous experience.
previous experience.
Right.
So we had a smart board in the class, right? And
How smart it is. No, I'm joking.
and like
I can't stop myself.
they were playing a game on the smart board, and one of the girls, and they were like 6 years old.
Damn.
One of the girls were playing on the smart board, and the other one boy was trying to, you know, interrupt,
Disrupt her and
disrupt her. I warned him
Right.
3
How?
times.
Punch in the face.
No. I said, please stop. Please don't do that.
Okay.
Like, please, like, get away from
Otherwise,
her.
I clear.
No, wait. This has more. This has more. Wait.
Alright.
And he didn't listen to me, and I realized I kind of got angry there. And what happened was that I held the child.
Okay.
I
Removed him from the
removed
space.
him from the space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't hard. I didn't push him like
It's
around.
all like holding the baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, alright.
But the thing was that, and this is like one of the, I think, worst mistakes that I did as a
Wow.
teacher, was like, he was very hurt by that. Emotionally very hurt by that. And
Wow.
at that time, I wish I could go back in time and take him somewhere and talk with him. But I didn't.
Okay.
And that was like the biggest mistake for me, because then later he went up to his parents, and the parents called the school, and you know, it actually...
And then the school came to me?
The school came to me.
General.
The school came to me, and I was. They actually went to, like, they wrote something about it on the internet.
Oh, like a complaint.
It was a complaint directly to the faculty of education, and you know, like, it was like one of the worst experiences I had.
But the kid's reflection of the problem is different when he told his parents.
Yeah,
to resume.
I wish I had talked with the child and with the parent, but the problem there was that my own supervisor advised me not to talk with the parents.
Interesting.
She said she would handle it.
Interesting. Not to create further conflict.
I think so, because she thought that the parent wasn't open to communication, I think. So and I'm not the kind of person who would go against my supervisor,
Sure,
so I didn't
sure.
call, but then it was...
Good to hear.
and it became my problem.
Right.
This was a big issue for me, and I tried to stay very calm, because I also have my own anxiety issues as well, and this is very anxious.
We forget this. Teachers are
Yeah.
also dealing with.
Yeah, a lot of emotions, you know, and like I try to stay very calm. In the end, it solved itself.
Hopefully.
But I learned a lot from that.
But that's very nice saying
Yeah.
that you have made that mistake. That makes me realize
The
that.
mistake was lack of communication.
Yeah, but when you admit it openly,
Yeah.
especially on a podcast, you are technically saying that, you know, it's a good thing for me it happened
Yeah.
because I experienced. Because earlier you
Yeah, I think
said
this
when
is
you
the-
have something like that.
This is the maturity that one teacher needs to have. Like, this was a mistake.
Yeah.
Like this, I will try not to do it again. The way that I felt about it at the time, I felt like I lost my job basically. Like
Yeah.
I would lose my job.
Hard.
But the supervisor stood behind me still, so I appreciate it for that.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We cover up. I wonder about your sanity and insanity.
Excuse me?
No, because like earlier you said it's a good point for me to be mature as a teacher to admit my mistakes, and I said that we are dealing with a lot of things as teachers. So from you we're gonna start teacher. How are you dealing with your like after a class stress, before a class stress, in class stress, generally in your life, personal life, professional life? How are you?
Generally, I am not a stressful person.
That's really
I'm
good.
so energetic person, so I want to share my energy with my students
Right.
in classroom or outside, doesn't matter.
Right.
So yes, I am a teacher, but also I am a person.
Right.
So of course, I have many experiences about my life,
Right.
outside or inside, about some teachers, about some adult classroom.
We can gossip about teachers.
Adults.
It's not
Yes.
going to be on YouTube, definitely.
That's time.
Yeah.
And so
Like I sometimes have in my mind a day where I don't want to teach, I want to go to the classroom, I don't want to laugh.
yes,
But we push.
sometimes actually, obviously Saturdays,
Yeah.
I feel so tired,
Mhm.
and sometimes I feel sad. But I see my student, my juniors, and give hugs, so I will so happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It changes, exactly. Yeah, it's like previously you feel bad, and
Yes.
when you see your kids and your students, instantly
Because
you're like getting
they are
better.
so tiny,
Yeah, they're so young. Like,
they are so lovely.
Maybe I can put some photos
Imagine-
for you.
No.
imagine being
please.
this. Imagine being this.
Shit.
Like,
I'm
imagine
crying
being
now.
Amazing,
I
yeah,
know.
it's amazing.
Yes.
What about you, teacher? How do you keep it?
I mean, I didn't say I'm not insane.
Okay.
You know, like,
In some sense, we are.
yeah, like
Right.
actually very closer to Simia. Like, there are times where, you know, like, please no.
I'm here.
I'm
here.
That's it. Yeah.
So what happens is that sometimes when I see the kids, I get better,
Right.
and even sometimes when I see the kids, still I'm like, you know, still goes on. Basically, I mean, this is the way that you deal with everything. Sometimes, like, sometimes even with your family, you have these issues. Like they want to
course.
talk to you, but you're not. You're like, you know,
I'm not available
yeah,
emotionally.
not emotionally,
I
you know.
cannot.
But you have to be,
Of
you know.
course. Yes.
Basically, because this is our job, we need to, even if we're not emotionally prepared, we have to act like it.
Exactly.
So this is what I do. You know, fake it till we make it.
Yeah.
I fake it.
Yeah.
Some-
But you
sometimes.
have to, otherwise you cannot go on
I'm
with your life.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm an emotional person, but not always. For example, sometimes I feel so emotional, but not in here. I forget something about my life during teaching something in my classroom.
Okay.
Yes, teaching something is big solution in my life.
Oh yeah,
Right.
of course.
So I worked hard really. I always in course or I always teach something from 10 to 10.
Right.
But why?
Right. Just forget everything
Yes.
else. That's a good way.
And if you're too busy, you don't have time to get depressed.
Yes.
That's really good. And if you're doing something you like as well.
Yes.
Like if you
exactly.
like teaching and you obviously you like teaching. So then this is very interesting, very nice. There is something about sometimes as a school head teacher, I get requests that we do not want a female teacher or we don't want a male teacher, we want a female teacher. So what is your take on that? What do you think?
It's a cultural thing in my opinion,
Yes.
because
What is the core reason?
almost all of my teachers were females, and teaching is when you look at the gender distribution of teachers, you would probably see like 80% females, 20% males. So I think that has a lot to do with that, like because a lot of people see female teachers, they tend to want female teachers for their kids. That's one. Two, this is kind of like a gender politics thing, to be honest, but like
Cultural could be? No?
cultural still.
And female teachers maybe looks like a mother.
That's true.
And more emotional.
Representation of their
Yes.
mom.
More emotional, patient, and I don't know, maybe.
For example, for some people,
Right.
like, children will hug, children will try to kiss you, whatever.
Of
For
course.
example, what I do, I'm okay, like if a child hugs me,
Of course.
I'm like, to do that, for example. But for example, when I was working in kindergarten, kids tried to kiss me on the cheek, and I
Right.
would say no.
Right.
Because as a male teacher, you need to know the boundaries. The
Right.
boundaries are extremely more important when you are a male teacher. I think this is the reason why a lot of people want female
I would agree with
teachers
that.
for that, because with women, those boundaries are more relaxed.
I neither agree or disagree because I think our society is effed up. Because I can leave my boy with a female teacher, and my boy can kiss my female teacher on the cheek. How is that different than a small kid, a girl kiss a teacher on the cheek? So
Actually, it's wrong for as a male or as a female.
okay, that's
Both
a
of them.
no-no.
Yeah,
It's
by the way,
wrong.
exactly. But like with
Yes.
females, it's
Okay,
seen
then.
more
But
like the boundaries
everybody
are more.
thinks female is okay, maybe for
Yeah.
kissing, for hugging, but
It's not.
Yeah.
So what is the boundary?
education,
What is the rule?
Hocam, in education,
Yes.
you're not supposed to
Contact.
physical
physical contact.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Hugging
I mean,
is-
wrong in the sense, hugging is maybe, you do not push a
I
child.
mean, that would be very
That
bad.
would be not good.
Don't touch me!
You shouldn't be the one to initiate the contact.
Exactly.
And I mean,
Kissing, no.
definitely no. Kissing is no. Hugging is fine, I think, in my opinion.
But not initiated by the teacher.
Yeah.
If I am not your mother or father,
Kissing is
no, I won't kiss you.
What about kissing on the head?
No.
No.
On the head, no.
No, hocam.
Is that
Just-
I think even initiating hugs could be fine in some aspects. Like the way you hug is important.
I always have
But-
my students, by the way,
Oh,
for
yeah,
thank you, for sorry.
You should here, for example. You should hug like here.
You
but
don't sit down to hug kids. Get up.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
So that they can
Yes.
get on the floor.
But kissing or any other physical contact.
I wonder
is-
why.
Hocam, the first one is the boundaries.
Right.
As
As an
a teacher,
educator,
as
they
an
must have
educator.
a boundary.
The thing is like there is a different dynamic between you
Yeah, and
and a child.
They have learned something since childhood.
What do you mean?
For example, kissing, hugging, or physical attitude, they have learned since born.
Okay, so that's a natural behavior.
Kinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, but for us as adults, teachers, we know that's a no-no.
Yeah. Because we need to have boundaries, and as I said, like for example, a child with their parents has a different dynamic.
For example, we are teachers,
You
but
are-
stranger woman
We
or
are,
man.
yeah.
Okay,
and
come and hug me.
we are-
Yeah.
we are the professionals. We need to
Right.
act
What can
professionally.
parents do that as well?
Yeah. Because like if you do that, if you do the physical contact, and those boundaries are broken, and you shouldn't do that.
Right.
And I ask something for changing clothes. For example, my students pour something on their clothes, and I call the parents. If you say yes, so we want to change their
T-shirts
t-shirt or pants or
Of course. Those are delicate moments, I would
Yes.
say.
Exactly.
Wow.
If, for example, a male teacher cannot do that.
Yes.
You know what happened to me once?
Male teacher cannot.
When I was working in the kindergarten, the teachers were somewhere else. You know, they have assistant teachers there that helps with the kids in the restroom or changing their stuff.
An extra individual staff member.
You have to have that in kindergarten. They were somewhere else, I think, and nobody was there. And one of the kids were in the toilet, and she would ask me, "Teacher, I'm done. Can you help me?" And there was no one else there, and I called my supervisor, and I said, like, "This is the situation. Please come help me because I cannot do that."
Exactly.
Because that's extremely wrong of a male teacher to do.
Yes, yes, yes.
It just seemed wrong.
It is. I mean, it seems it
wrong.
is definitely
It's
wrong in my
definitely wrong,
opinion.
yes, not
in my
definitely
opinion,
wrong.
you shouldn't do that because you're eroding the boundaries.
Actually, for example, after 10 years, I had a baby girl. Her father,
Would be very upset with
Yes.
some situation like that. Like that.
or her father, doesn't always see my daughter's body
Genitalia,
or change
her body.
her class clothes,
Yeah.
something else.
It's kind of those are like the.
It's secret because female teachers is okay because we will be a mother
Right.
one day.
Right.
But male teachers is, I don't know.
We cannot talk about this clearly without going into politics because
Yes.
this is
Of
gender
course.
politics. So you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Let's take a step back.
Yeah.
I wonder if you regret your job as a teacher of juniors or young learners.
I hope I will never.
no.
You hope you will never.
Yes.
Elaborate.
You know, elaboration, of course, like, you know, you never know what will happen in the future, and I hope something bad will not happen, and I will regret my, choices
Right.
in life. But right now, if I'm talking right now, no, not at all, because I have very wonderful kids
I
that
agree.
I teach, and I familiarize them to English, and they are slowly getting used to speaking English fully.
You see their progress.
I see their progress, and it makes me very happy.
Of
You know,
course.
I don't know if I could do in any other job.
Right.
The job satisfaction of being a teacher is extremely important, and it motivates you. I'm motivated to teach more,
Right.
to open up more, to have new students, to have new classes.
Beautiful. Did you see that?
Yes, I teach new things to my students, and they need us
Right.
because they want to learn something. They want to learn some new things. But adults, for example, teacher, I am an engineer, so I have to learn. But they don't have to. They want to learn.
Right.
So no, I don't.
You wouldn't regret that.
Yes.
But also, let's not forget, you guys are not only teaching and educating juniors. You guys also.
Yes.
I mean, right now I'm only kind of educating
Only
juniors,
kind of,
right now.
but you're able to educate
Of course.
adults and academics
But
as well.
I have academic, adult, and junior.
Right.
I have taught academic before. I have taught adults,
Right.
obviously.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now let's zoom in and come to the camera.
Okay.
Let's be thankful for this conversation. First thing, thank you very much for being with me.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
As always.
I appreciate it. Now we're going to give a message to to any new teacher in terms of teaching juniors. So what is your message? You may begin. For me, you may teach, but you need to be educated enough, and you need to learn and listen to those guys so that you can
Yes.
educate yourself. What about you? Thank you very much. That was great. Yes.
Actually,
One-
be patient. Be patient. That's it.
Be patient.
Be
Be
patient.
patient.
Of course. Me, first, it's going to be difficult. There's no denying that. You're not going to learn a lot from the education you get. Teaching is a field job.
Right.
Of course, education is extremely important, but you're not going to get better without starting first. You need to start. But my encouragement is that once you start, once you have the experience, it's going to be much better. Every year, you're going to go up and up.
Thank you. Teacher Sungyo, what do you have to say?
Sometimes, if you are thinking of a junior teacher, sometimes bump into some difficult situation about juniors, about parents, about their behaviors. But be patient, be happy, and try to talk.
Right.
Try to talk, first rule.
Communicate.
Try to talk. Communicate is so important for juniors with teachers and parents with teachers, doesn't matter. Actually, that's it. Juniors, being a juniors teacher is so good. It's
Rewarding.
Rewarding, yes. Because parents trust us, juniors trust us, and we trust juniors.
Right.
So it's big jump.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it actually.
Nice. Awesome. From my side, I think you should not teach juniors because it's really hard.
Yes.
I mean,
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Because
It's
what you're doing is not easy. I feel like
Yes.
I would
It's
not
so
be able
hard.
to I could cover for you if you guys are not available for the classes. I could cover your classes.
Thank you for telling me that.
I would cover Alparan first because he always asks. But again, it's very exciting to hear from you because it was really some things I was not thinking about. Now I was thinking different about how children feel or why do they do this.
Normally seems like they are juniors, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what
more
the worst thing
easier.
can happen? Yeah, just
Yeah,
like
they do coloring, they make cutting something, but no.
it's more than that. It's more complex.
Because more emotional. You have to be emotional person.
Right.
You have to be.
Empathical.
You-
Empath. I hate the word empath, but like they say empath, you know,
Empath.
being able to have empathy for others.
Empathizing.
And
Yes.
being able to empathize with others.
Sympathize.
You have to think like a father, like a mother.
And that is hard.
Yes, that's hard, but
Okay, I hope.
it's our job.
Yes, I hope this was beneficial, useful for parents, teachers, for everybody out there who is pursuing career in teaching or pursuing a career in understanding English. That would be also a great podcast or a great episode for you to learn some things here and there and also English language. Thank you very much and looking forward to seeing you in a new episode on the podcast Breathe English with Ali Aradi.
Thank you guys. See
Bye.
you.